Hello everyone, Fancy here, and today I'm reviewing Splatoon 2. Now, I was super excited for this game to come out for the Nintendo Switch because it's Splatoon on the go. I loved the first Splatoon game, one of my favorite Wii U games, if not my favorite. In fact, you know what? It was my favorite Wii U game. It was something that was new, I liked the game modes behind it, I liked the idea, the campaign was fun enough to replay over and over and over, and it was just so much fun. Even the amiibos were actually a lot of fun with the different challenges they had, and they kept coming out with new maps. Splatfests were a ton of fun. It was just an all-around amazing game. If I had reviewed that game, I would have probably given it about like an 8 when it first came out, and then after all the updates started coming out, I would have given it like a 9, maybe even 9.5. I loved the game that much. Probably a 9, for a reason that I'll get to a bit later on in the review. It has to do with multiplayer, and some of you might know what I'm talking about already. So single player in Splatoon 2 is just as much fun as the first one, but actually I think it's better than the first Splatoon game. The secrets, I don't know, I just felt like they were more fun to find. I don't really know how to explain it. The movement is a lot more fun due to the fact that they've got the grinding rail now. It's so much fun that they've taken advantage of this new mechanic. It's awesome. I absolutely love grinding on those rails, and you feel like you're in like one of those like old kung fu or action movies where you're sliding down the rail and you're shooting all the balloons and you're shooting the enemies, and it's a ton of fun, and you're trying to jump through certain rings and land on certain platforms. And if you mess it up, you gotta go all the way back. So when you get it perfectly and you transfer between rails smoothly without, you know, having to walk to the next one and then jump onto it, it's such a good feeling, and I absolutely love the single player mode. The bosses are just as wacky and as silly as the first game, and though they're not super difficult, they're still a lot of fun. It really is a lot of fun. It doesn't feel too easy, but it's definitely not even close to too difficult. You can tell that this game is meant for everyone, and honestly, that's fine. It's a ton of fun. And I don't want to spoil anything, so we're not going to get too far into it, but just know, single player, it's awesome. Now, for the main meat of the game, multiplayer. How is it in Splatoon 2? Well, Turf War, of course, is back, and it's just as much fun as ever. There's a couple new weapons, and I forgot to mention that in the campaign, you also get to use the new weapons, and you just get to use a bunch of them. Unlike where the first one, you only got to use the first weapon, which, I mean, I never really got sick of it, but it's nice to have the variety here. So back to multiplayer. Turf War, it's the same thing as the first game. You're trying to cover as much ground as possible, more than the opponent team, and it's fun. It's a game mode for some reason that doesn't get old. I don't really know why, but just trying to cover ground and splat your enemies is a ton of fun. I can't explain why this game mode in particular just doesn't get old. Because some of the different ranked modes do get old, but this one just doesn't. I could just keep coming back to Turf War, and I can either play it casually and, you know, just kind of have fun trying to cover as much ground, or I could be, you know, super competitive and, you know, try to employ different tactics, like see where they're going and go the opposite way, or go where they're going to try to splat them, and it's a lot of fun. I love it. But they brought back the main problem with Splatoon 1 and Turf War, and that is you can't stay on the same team as your friends. What is this? Why? Why are you doing that? I don't understand it. It's such a simple thing to keep me on the same team as my friends. That has been a thing since as long as I can remember. That's like the thing back in Halo 2. You party up, you go in, you stick together. Simple as that. But no, for some reason, it's completely random whether or not they're on your team. There's no more of a chance that they're going to be on your team if they're partied up with you than if it's just a random person who just keeps joining the game over and over and over. I mean, I've had stretches where I'm just on the enemy's team like 4 or 5 games in a row, and it's just not that much fun doing that. Sure, it's fun splatting your friends occasionally, but that sounded wrong. But I want to be on the same team as my friends. That's why I'm partying up with them. I want to work together. I want to employ strategies. Because most of the time, you're on a team and they're disorganized and nobody knows really what they're doing. And some people are off shooting at the ground. You always get that one person who gets like 150 points and you're like, could you not? Could you play the game, please? And God, this is something, it's such a big missed opportunity with Splatoon 2 to fix this. A lot of people had a problem with this. This isn't just me, guys. A lot of people want to play with their friends, especially in a more casual game type. Not everybody likes ranked. It's a lot more stressful. Turf war, you just have a good time and you cover the ground. Plus, there's no ranked turf war. Why is there no ranked turf war? Why didn't they just make that also a ranked mode? Why not have both? In fact, why isn't Rainmaker also a casual mode? Why can't I just play it in that? Why aren't there separate playlists for casual instead of just turf war? Doesn't make any sense. So that's definitely a huge misstep on Nintendo. I'm not sure what they were thinking. In fact, all of the ranked modes are exactly the same as the first game. We've got Splat Zones, Rainmaker, and Tower Control. Now I love these game modes, but why not add something new? It doesn't make any sense. This is a brand new title. This is Splatoon 2. But what they've done so far is make it feel like Splatoon 1.5. Okay, so end rant for now, but let me just get into what the different modes are if you've never played Splatoon. Splat Zone, you're trying to cover a specific point in the map, and you're trying to hold that for your team as long as possible. Tower Control, you try to cover the tower in your color, you have to jump on it, and you have to ride it to the finish line. If you don't get it to the finish line, it's whoever got it the farthest over time. So even if you are getting really close near the end, but they got it closer, they're still gonna win. Rainmaker is basically one flag, capture the flag, but instead of bringing it back to your base, you have to bring it to their base. And said flag is also a weapon called the Rainmaker. Now, it's weird because in the first one, you shoot it and it's kind of like a tornado thing, whereas this one you shoot it and then it kind of explodes. I don't really know how to describe it, but I don't know. I never was a huge fan of Rainmaker to begin with, but now I don't know. I don't know which weapon variant I liked more. But that's it. That's all that there is for ranked. So that doesn't make any sense why they didn't add any new modes, and it doesn't make sense why they don't have those other modes in regular. Why can't I play those casually? I don't know. Also, with multiplayer, they still have that random 2-hour rotate thing. It doesn't make any sense. Like, I guess at launch it does because there really aren't that many maps, but you just get tired, especially when the game doesn't mix it up as much as it should. I'll keep rejoining the same lobby over and over and over, but I could get the same map 4 times in a row. So it gets really old that that happens. It doesn't make any sense. If you're gonna have the whole 2-hour thing, make it more than 2 maps per rotation. Just give me more variety. That's what I wanted in this game, was more variety. Another ranked mode that I'm gonna be completely honest, I haven't been able to play yet. It's called League Battle. Now I'm gonna go ahead and tell you why I haven't been able to play it yet. You have to have a B- in the ranked, which isn't too hard to get. But you also have to have a squad of up to 2 people, and it can go up to 2 hours. So I haven't been able to get any of my friends to commit to a maybe 2-hour game of Splatoon. That's insane. Like, I'm not gonna complain about this mode or anything. That's cool if you for some reason want to binge play some Splatoon and you've got a separate ranking system in there. You can earn a medal depending on how well your team does. And I could see this being a really cool thing, but then the problem comes back to voice chat. I don't know if you guys have heard of the voice chat debacle. You guys can watch Dreamcast Guy's video down below in the description area, but it's a mess. It's awful. In fact, I have a video on it as well. I've linked that down below as well. And it doesn't make any sense why Nintendo did this. It's not built into the controller like the Xbox One or PS4. So you have to like have all these different wires hooked up to it, and then you have to have your phone hooked up to the Wii U or the Switch, sorry. You have to have your phone hooked up to the Switch, which is then hooked up to your headset, and all 3 are just in this tangled, horrible mess. And it doesn't make any sense why they design it this way. So I'm guessing nobody uses the damn Splatoon chat, so voice chat's just not a thing on the Switch, which is unfortunate. So get your phone, get Discord or something, or Skype, and then I guess do it through there. So I'd say it's a completely different subject and a completely different rant, but it's not, because that is a huge part of multiplayer online shooters. And that was something I was really hoping they would fix in Splatoon 2. But instead, they botch it again. Another missed opportunity. And it's super disappointing because I love Splatoon. It's such a great IP. But instead of improving it, this once again feels like Splatoon 1.5. Let's continue. Okay, last mode is Salmon Run. Salmon Run is the Horde style wave base survival mode. And it's fun. It's a lot of fun. I actually didn't think I'd like it, but there's like 7 different bosses that appear, and they're all unique in their own different way, and you have to kill them in different ways. And you have to grab the golden eggs that they drop and bring it back and to get a certain amount of golden eggs. And it requires a lot of teamwork. It's so much fun. It gets really chaotic later in the waves, and it has its own separate ranking system and reward system. So I love it. I love Salmon Run. I didn't think I would. Super shocked. But once again, with no chat, makes it super difficult to coordinate with my teammates. So once again, this is another thing you want to do with your friends. It's not terrible with randoms. Most of the people I've played with online were pretty competent, but anyway, so after all that, so what do I give Splatoon 2? I give Splatoon 2 an 8 out of 10. Now, I know you're thinking after all that ranting I'd give it a lower number, but it's so much fun. I can't give it a lower number because I cannot tell you guys not to go pick this up. It's so much fun. I'm gonna give it an 8 with the asterisk. How about that? I'm giving it an 8 with an asterisk because although it's an 8, that's only because they're gonna come out with a bunch more stuff for it. If I were to rate this in its current state, it'd be like a 7. Because right now there aren't that many maps. They didn't fix the problems that could have been easily fixed from the first ones. And they basically made it Splatoon 1.5. Now I know a lot of people didn't have a chance to play Splatoon 1, and I'm giving them the 8 because they didn't just remaster Splatoon 1, they gave it an all new campaign, which is a lot of fun. They gave it new weapons, which is good, but they guess they could have done that with the first one because they did add a ton of new weapons to the first Splatoon. And they came out with a whole new batch of maps. So they added a bunch of new stuff. They updated the graphics a little bit. They really did tweak the anti-aliasing. You can really see there's less jagged edges. The game just looks smoother. I feel like it runs a little bit smoother. I think there's some frame skips in the first one, but it runs well. It plays great. It's a ton of fun. They just missed so much opportunity to make the game perfect. This could have easily been a 9 or 9.5, even a 10. If they just fixed the problems from the first games, maybe added a couple new modes, and made some more stuff for casual. So, that's the review of Splatoon 2. Sorry it was so long. This is just a series that I really do love, and that's why I'm so harsh on it. That's why I give it so much criticism, because I want to see this IP flourish. Hopefully, some of this is somehow patched out in the future. I don't know if the teams thing will. I don't think they're going to add any modes, but hopefully they add a bunch of new cool weapons in the future and add a bunch of really neat maps. But only time will tell. They did last game, and usually they do it pretty quickly. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you guys liked the video, definitely leave a like down below. Subscribe for more content from this channel, and of course, check out Fanta Vision. Oh my god, there's so much stuff going on over there. If you guys don't watch this channel a lot, this is kind of the second, Fanta Vision's the secondary channel. It's got other reviews, it's got impressions videos, it's got Tales from Retail where I talk about my experiences in retail, and yeah, it's a cool channel, check it out. And as always I say over there, have a Fanta-tastic day. See ya.